There we are. Hello, welcome along, everybody, to another Blether. Um, just Kat and I tonight. We don't have any guests, but that doesn't mean it's going to be any less fun. Maybe less interesting, but not less fun. So, thanks everyone to join us. As a quick scroll down, who's joined us? I think it's a full quota of YouTubers at the moment.
The
Good
Blethren,
evening, Tim. Sorry.
the Blethren are with us.
They are, absolutely. We've got Ed, we've got Tim, we've got Dave, we've got Pete Head, all saying hello tonight. Dave is on the Sherry Cask Glencadam Oloroso tonight. Super.
They just had an exciting new release today, haven't they? Was it 20?
Yeah, 27,
Yeah.
36-year-old, 96, so 27-year-old. Yeah, I had a missed call today from Glencadam, so I'm going to call them back in the morning and see how many of these bottles I can get into the shop because it looks pretty incredible. 1 second, I'm going to go on mute, Kat. If you tell everyone what's in your glass tonight, I will be listening in.
Okay. So, haven't quite decided what's in my glass tonight. I have got tea just now because I was out for cocktails this afternoon. So, I'm maybe just going to hydrate for a while before I open up anything. However, on standby, I've got this. I didn't have one last week when we were speaking about it, but I'm pretty sure it's Fraser's birthday today, and it's my birthday tomorrow. So I thought it could be a nice birthday dram. So we're going to have that. Yeah.
And by Fraser, you mean Phil?
Yeah. Why have I just said Fraser?
Fraser's his surname. He's a Phil Fraser. He's like me, but you first name.
Yeah.
You were
Do you know what? 4 cocktails. He's lucky he got he's lucky he got any sort of sensible.
You remembered his birthday, so
yes, I did. So I will open that up after I've drank some tea, I think. What about you? Awesome. What is in your...
I have gone back to the same dram as last week, the Arn American McLean. At the moment, I'm going to warm up with this guy. I sat down with the Barflies last week. It was Jeff, who was doing a wee fill in for Roy because Roy's on holiday. So I joined in and had a couple of drams of the Iron American. And that's what I'm starting off with. And I don't know. I'm probably going to wing it tonight. Just see, I've got some random samples just dotted about. So as you can see down here, little bottles of bits and bobs. So I'm just going to see where the chat takes us and choose the dram accordingly.
That's good. Thank you for all the birthday messages, everyone. Thank you very much. That's nice.
It's tomorrow. Happy birthday for tomorrow. And of course, your brother's birthday tomorrow as well.
Whatever. Yes.
Who's older?
Oh, I'm older by a minute, and it's like literally a minute. But yeah. Well, it's also my nephew's birthday tomorrow too, and Sandra Bullock's. So there you go. Yeah. It's a popular
I think I've got anyone famous in my birthday.
I bet there is. Have you ever Googled it?
No, well, probably, but I think I would remember if it was somebody like properly famous. I know number one when I was born was UB40 and Red Wine.
I don't know what was number one when I was born.
I don't know any other famous people who were born on my birthday. I'll have to check it.
Yeah, there'd definitely be somebody, or like maybe Hitler or something. I don't know. You never know.
I mean, he's so famous. Yeah. Or infamous, would he be classed as? We're not going to go into that at all. We'll stop that now. Pete Head is also on the Glencadam tonight. Let's move swiftly on from sharing a birthday with him. Tim Powell's Major Nut, Pete Head, Rick, all wishing you happy birthday for tomorrow. Dominic is saying happy birthday as well. Major Nut has just finished a dram of the As We Get It Highland version. What a dram. I love that, the Ian McLeod As You Get It. It's the full cast strength. I think it's about 60 63%, I think it is. Full bourbon cask, if I remember right, the Highland one. And there's an Isla one as well, which is cask strength. Cola, I'm going to suggest on that one. I might be wrong on that.
I think any sort of secret Isla malt is usually Kalila, isn't it?
Kalila. Yeah, Kalila, sometimes Buna as well. It could be Buna or sometimes Lagavulin, but Lagavulin's normally Williamson. Not Lagavulin.
I was going to say, no, it's not.
Dominic shares a birthday with Margaret Thatcher.
Well, there you go.
I mean, I would put her quite in the same class as Hitler for fame, but yeah, she's a pretty famous lady. Yeah, let us know who you know who do you share a birthday with. There's a nice little topic.
That is nice. Yeah, who do you share a birthday with? And if you had a birthday with them, what would you have as a dram? What would I have a dram with Sandra Bullock? Well, I don't know. This would be quite good because like Bullock is like a cow, and then that's got a cow on it, so that's quite fitting.
The Cat and Bull.
And the Cat and Bull. It sounds like a good name for a pub, doesn't it?
It
is Reese. He came back. I don't think he was here last week, so he's probably on the naughty list for flaking out on us. I think he only turns up when we have past colleagues on. So welcome back. You could be one of us again.
60.6, the Isla 61 of the, sorry, just randomly shouting numbers out there. Major Nuts commented on the As We Get It whiskies, 60.6%. Rick is enjoying a nice Starbucks latte right now. He's watching on Facebook, as is David Muir, who is on the water. I wonder why, David.
I think David was on the bevies last night, so and one night too early. We don't have past colleagues on tonight, unfortunately, but we'll have to get you on.
Yeah. What we'll do, Reese, we'll just send you a link and you can just join on. You can be our guest tonight.
Yeah, just get a dram, jump on, you'll be fine.
Who else have we got? Rick is on the Starbucks. Fraser McFarlane, good evening, Fraser. How are you? Been a while since we've had a chat. He is on the Adelphi Klein Leash. Do like a Klein Leash. I do like that. And might have some news fairly soon about Klein Leash. That's all I'm going to say on that.
The best branding, like their little cat logo is very, very cool. If I could steal that for my merch, I definitely would.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But it fits with you, doesn't it? Just the cat. I don't think it works for me.
Not so much. And I kind of feel like I need to have a word with them because, obviously, like they've just stolen that from me. How old is Klein Leash? Who got there first? Maybe they're a bit older than me. I don't know. I feel like 100.
Yeah. It depends because it started off as Brora 2, didn't it? And then it became Klein Leash. And now they're reopening Brora 1.
Yeah, I wonder when they changed the name. Do you know, if we had Jeremy on, he would know the answer to that.
I'm guessing one of the guys would know. I think it was early 1900s. Is it the 30s that Klein Leash became Klein Leash? I think Dominic's going to know. Dominic's got a plethora of information there in that little brain of his.
Yeah, I've drank too many cocktails. No, I can't. I'm giving up because somebody else can do that.
Glencadam's getting a battering tonight. It's as in a good way. People are drinking it, not people are slagging. Bob Sanders just finished a Glencadam Pedro Heavenette as well, so he's thinking of the Wee Brune Electric Coup that Campbellton. Have you tried that? What a dram! Really nice.
No, I've seen a few people talking about it, but no, I haven't.
Yeah. It's so good. Somebody else was on the Glencadam. Peterhead was a Glencadam.
Everyone must be getting excited about the new release that's been all over Instagram today and getting inspiration. Oh, is Russell just giving us the
Yeah.
answer to the Klein Leash question? Or
I
is he
think
just
that's his
shouting
birthday.
too? That's his birthday.
No, Russell's a 66 loon, I think. Best thing to come out in 1966, Russell, if I remember rightly. But 67 could be when Klein Leash became known as Klein Leash. And when Scotland became world champions of football, of course, was that year.
That's a long time ago. Was that? Are we still holding on to that?
Yeah, I mean, we weren't even world champions, but we are saying that we were because we beat England. We were the first team to beat England after they won the World Cup.
Okay. Wait, I think Russell is just shouting out random numbers. He's like a bingo caller. Oh no, wait, we're getting just staggered. It was originally Klein Leash. So like the distillery was built in 1819 maybe. And then
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I need to do more research. It is a confusing one,
So it
Russell.
was Klein Leash, and then was it Klein Leash 2 that got turned into Brora?
I don't know. What do you know what? I've got Ingvar's
Klein
book
Leash
right
B, not Klein Leash 2. Klein Leash B was renamed Brora.
now. Oh, okay.
I'm thinking of Glen Grant. Glen Grant then built Glen Grant 2, which that's when they had. Have you heard Robin Lang's song about the Rothless Loons,
No.
where they had the pipe across the street? So the Glen Grant 2 supplied the spirit across the pipe running along the main street in Rothless. It was going up to the bottling hall in Glen Grant 1. And through the night, the Rothless loons would go up on shoulders and up on step ladders, drill little holes in the pipe, fill up whatever flagon they had, seal it, and then they would melt wax over it. And when the wax dried, that would seal the holes, which was great in the winter. But during the summer, when the sun came out, all the wax melted, and hey presto, we've got sprinklers of Munich spirit pouring all over the street of Rothless.
No way.
Yeah. So that is now, it became a distillery, and I want to say it was Conville and then it's now the site of Forsyths.
Ah. So that was one of the original, what do they talk about, the 7 stills that built Speyside?
No, because you're in Dufton.
Oh yeah.
The 7 stills of Dufton.
There's one that sounds like that, isn't there? That I don't know. Not sure. There's a lot of
Capardonic. Capardonic it was. I knew it began with a C.
Okay, so yeah, so maybe so maybe the Conville one was one of the 7 stills, and I don't know. More research needed.
Klein Leash B was renamed brewer. So yes, we were kind of right. 1968 from the interweb. Dominic's looked that up. The old distillery was at first mothballed. It was reactivated 1 year later. Was run under the name of Klein Leash B, but then was renamed Brora.
I mean, a Klein Leash B is a shit name. It's like nobody wants to be in the B team. See, when I was at school, I was reserve on the B team for netball. I didn't even make the actual team. Like I was reserve B team, and I was actually really good at netball because you just stand still. Like there's nothing else. You just catch the ball and stand still. Nobody wants to be on the B team. So it's good that they changed the name. Oh yes, I was right.
Yes, Conville next door to Balvenie.
Okay.
Sounds like a nuclear power station.
It is an education. It sounds like which one sounds like a nuclear power station?
Klein Leash B.
Okay. I suppose so.
Ed Friday shares a bathroom. Shares a birthday with back Michael Heseltine and Modest Mussorgsky. I think I've been on the cocktails tonight as well.
I don't know any.
They do a banging rendition of Happy Birthday for you.
Oh, that's true. I was going to say I don't know who any of those people are, but I know who Bach is. That's quite a decent list. Yeah. I don't know if there's anybody else that shares my birthday. I'm not really interested. I already share it with too many people. But yeah, Sandra Bullock is quite a cool one.
Yeah. I'm just googling my birthday. Are we just doing? We're just doing dates because Bach was not born at the same time as Ed Friday.
No, just the date.
Ernesto Teodoro Moneta is an Italian journalist.
Okay.
Who else? See, I've got this Sophia Loren. Sophia Loren.
That's a cool one. Oh, it was Bob's birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Bob.
Happy birthday, Bob Sander. Hopefully you had a good night and you're not too rough today. Wednesdays are such a weird day to have a birthday because it's like the mini weekend, so you could go out, but you never want to overdo the mini weekend.
Yeah.
And it's going to ruin it for the rest of the week. Rafael Nadal for Peterhead and the current First Lady. There we go. Dave Hackerson shares his with Hank Williams. That would be another great rendition of Happy Birthday, wouldn't it?
Is he like he's an old school singer, isn't he?
Yeah.
There we go.
He is indeed. So yeah, what's your plans tomorrow, Kit? What's your birthday lineup?
I don't actually have any plans. So my son's birthday is the day after. So usually my birthday is just getting organized for his birthday. So no, I don't know. We'll play it by ear and see what happens.
No.
Maybe going. I don't know. I usually like to go and climb a hill, but my kids have got to the age now where they just don't want to hang out with me or do anything like that. So, and so I did that on yesterday instead. So I don't know. Just sit in my pants eating crisps, living like a queen.
I mean, that sounds like a pretty good birthday. What kind of crisps and what whiskey are you going to pair with them?
Oh, it has to be salt and vinegar crisps because I love salt and vinegar crisps. But I don't know if you could pair whiskey with salt and vinegar crisps because they're quite out there with flavor, aren't they? Like you kind of maybe a bit strong to pair with crisps. I don't know. You have to give. Maybe that's what I need to dedicate tomorrow too. It's just a whole day of eating crisps and pairing whiskies and like doing some proper research.
Then you can call it research.
I can call it research. Dave says I could do a handful bottle. Do you know I could, but yeah, I don't know where I'd go to do one. I'm not sure.
Anywhere.
Yeah, I'd want it to be a bottle that I liked though. I don't know. That's quite a good idea. I've never actually filled. Oh no, tell a lie. No, I filled my Glenmurray one, but I don't think I've got a bottle with my own name and date of birth. Yeah, that is what you do, Dave. I do remember that because I think you went to. Maybe you didn't. I thought maybe you went to Glengarry last year. I can't remember. But yeah, I can maybe go and do that. I don't think I'm going to find one with my year of birth. Well, I might, but it'll be way too expensive because I'm getting old now. It's really depressing when you're looking for your year of birth and like the drop down list, and you've got to scroll further and further back because you realise that you've just like old. But it's fine. It's only a number. So Tim Powells shares a birthday with Freddie Mercury.
Tim Powell says, sadly, with Freddie Mercury, horrified as I never liked Queen and nobody else. I'm sure there is somebody else, but you haven't got a day where only you and Freddie Mercury were born. There must be someone else.
It was someday, though.
Yeah, all right. I like Queen.
Well, there you go. I mean, at least you got somebody famous and, somebody that we all know. I think you had an Italian journalist and Sophia
Loren. But I'm just scrolling through names now, and none of them. I was going to look on. I've lost him now. James Dewar, but not the. I'm not sure if they're related to the whiskey Dewar, John Dewar. I'm going to have to check on that.
I'm going to want to see who else I share a birthday with. I mean, we don't really need to be live to do this. Like, after you get your phones up.
I'm just hoping it's somebody really cool, like I don't know, Billy Walker or something. He comes up
I
and
don't
I'm like, woo! I've only got to 1899, so I'm going to stop now. Probably because they're all so old that nobody's heard of them yet. Anyway, let's have a look. Comments from the guys. Tokai. Oh, somebody's in the Tokai. Who is it? I did see somebody drinking a Tokai. The Kolila Tokai cast. Who's bottled that, Rob? Who's done that one? I do love Tokai casks. I've had Glengarry and Fragrant Drops did a Tokai. Was that the Kolila? Tokai cask, or was it Linkwood? Linkwood did it in the Tokai cask because they had the eagle with a sword on the label, which was awesome. I love Fragrant Drops labels.
That's cool. I see Money McDavid have just had an exciting new launch as well. Everyone's been off.
Yeah, the Ultra release. 52-year-old Macallan, was it, that they had on display?
Something like that. It looked very, very...
I was pretty gutted. I was invited down, but I misread the date. I had the invite down as last month, and I couldn't make it on the 25th of June. So I could have been there, 24th of June. I could have been there yesterday at the unveiling, but...
No way. That's so annoying. It was in Edinburgh.
It was, yeah.
I've seen loads of people on Instagram at it. It looked really, really good fun. Oh, that's so gutting that you missed it.
Yeah. But hey, they'll maybe send me a wee driver's pack and I could taste them all.
Maybe. I don't think Dean's watching tonight, but he's probably recovering from his I was going to say recovering from his big unveiling, but it sounds weird. Recovering from the event yesterday. But yeah, you never know. He might send you a wee sample down.
It would be nice. But yeah, there's a few in the range, isn't there? This ultra old, and the bottles are superb, nice big flushed. They remind me of, I think Duncan Taylor did a series. I'm not sure if they still do. Came in when we first opened. We had quite a few of them. They had big red leather binders, rarest of the rare, I think they were called. And they had really nice big heavy glass stoppers and stuff. And the bottle just looks outstanding. So yeah, I haven't got a price point on them yet, so I'm not sure what kind of price they're going to be coming out at. There's been quite a few interesting things coming out. That's Money McDavid and Glencadam. Glendronach's rebrand has just been launched as well.
Changed their box.
Yeah, mixed reviews so far on the old socials. There's
always going to be the lovers and the haters, isn't there? I haven't watched the video yet. The flamenco dancer. I'll need to give that a watch. I always wanted to be a flamenco dancer when I was a little girl.
You've got the hair for it.
I do. I'm like just about 80% there. I just need to learn the dance. But yeah, I think the box reminds me of just a few other boxes that I've seen
like
on the go.
Square
yes, cardboard. No, a lot of them are going for like that nice, like sort of like quite plain looking, but like with a band on top, because Lafroig have just changed and they've got the band. And then the new Glenallachie ones, do they not have like a band on top? Maybe they don't, do they? I can't think. But
no, it's still the kind of two colours. But they do have the kind of angled. It's not at the top, it's kind of halfway up. They've got a third of the way up. Angle. Yeah, I mean, I think it was inevitable that Glendronach were going to rebrand as part of the kind of Brown-Forman pursuit, shall we say. Ben Reich rebranded a couple of years ago, Glenglass was last year, so it was always going to come. I think being the flagship, probably for the three whiskies, Glendronach was going to be simpler. I thought it was always going to be one that they weren't going to kind of completely overhaul, like Glenglass had been completely.
Oh, I'm back. I've gone. I know.
Yeah.
I'm
Um,
back.
and yeah, I think it's so. Yeah, they weren't going to do that with Glendronach, but Glenglasser also came with, and Bedreaf, both of them came with brand new core ranges as well. So it was a chance to really overhaul the whole range and spirit. And look, whereas Glendronach have kept the 10, the 12, the 15, the 18, and the 21. Although I think the 21 is going to become more of an annual release rather than a core release. So I don't think they wanted to veer too much away from what they had. Certainly color wise, it's just I think they've just simplified the label a little bit and made it a bit more straight and neat and tidy, and obviously new bottles. I love these bottles because you know exactly what you're getting, and that's the kind of bottle that they had. Do I have an old Glendronach bottle? Yes, I do. Yeah, quite a nice traditional shape. You know, most distilleries have them. You know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Just showing you all the empty ones now.
So all they've done is change the box, right? So there's nothing.
The bottle shape has changed.
Okay.
The bottle
But
shape. I haven't seen one in the flesh, but it looks. It's kind of an outward angle. I don't think I've got any here that kind of. It's not quite like that. If you imagine that, but without these two wings.
Like a Macallan sort of shape.
Not as obvious. Not as obvious as that. It's a little bit more subtle. It's got broad shoulders. And looking at the video, it looks almost dumpier. Almost like what was. Do you know the? Have you seen any of the Goldfinch releases from?
Yes.
Yeah. So that kind of the one that's got the Goldfinch brand rather than the Palo Cortados or the port casks. Slightly angled, but not overly so.
I guess
it is a wee bit of shape to the bottom. It looks like a groove in the bottom that kind of tidies it up a little bit. So, needless to say, I'm holding judgment until I see it in the flesh, as I try to do. And we will have a look and see what comes out. So I think the official launch 25th of August. I think that this is going to be available. So and then probably the distillery will release it first, and then it'll come through to retailers and whatnot. I'm not sure exactly what the plan is, but it's getting tongues wagging. It's getting people talking about it, and I guess that's what they want to start with, and getting debate going. And we'll see what happens. But ultimately, as far as I'm aware, no change to the spirit. It's still the same range, still the same casks, still the same ABVs. Probably a price change.
I would imagine so.
I think any price change. I think probably the core ranges are going to be fairly similar. The kind of higher end ones might be different. But I did notice for the first time in a long time that they've got two relatively affordable handfuls. They're both, I think it's a 10 and a 12-year-old at the distillery just now. So they're both circa 110, 120. And normally they have a 30-year-old, which is about £700 in it. So yeah, I think that warrants a wee venture up very soon, actually, to see what they've got.
That's cool.
Let's have a wee look at who's on. Rick, good evening. I was talking about you today. I am speaking to Gordon at Knock2 and try and get you in there. So I'll let you know when he comes back. What I've asked him just to allow me permission to send you his details so you can get in touch with him yourself and organise the timings of it. But remember, and let us know when you're. Sorry, Kat.
No, I was just going to say it's one of my absolute favourite places. So I'm sure. Did Rick miss that day when he was over?
That was the day he was unwell.
Ah. Oh,
so,
well, yeah.
I've used that as the pool. I was like, Rick was really looking forward to it, and he's gutted that this wasn't the same. And I'll pull some strings for you, Rick, and try and Try and get you in there.
Do you know what I got to do when I was over? Was it last week I was over? Gordon handed me the key. He's like, "You hold that so I don't drop it." I was like, "Okay." So like, somebody gives me a job, like I take it really seriously. So I was holding that key all the way around.
All the way
But we
around.
got, yeah, and then we got to the warehouse. He's like, "Go on then." So it was the key to the warehouse. I got to open up the warehouse. I was like, "Oh, that's exciting." I was like,
You just lock yourself in.
yeah, see you losers. But I felt so privileged to get to open up the warehouse because it's such a cool thing to get to do anyway. But I didn't know what key I was holding. It could have been the key to his blooming car.
You open a warehouse every day, Kat. Come on.
It didn't look like my key. It looked like it was a different key. But I know I do get to open it every day. But I think if you like stop enjoying stuff like that or seeing like getting excited about it, you're kind of maybe in the wrong job. I get excited every time I go into the warehouse. I always know what's going to be in there. So yeah, no, it's quite cool. You will enjoy that, Rick. If you need a buddy, give us a shout.
Yeah, or a driver.
Mm.
Don't give me a shout if you're a driver. Steve Gibson's asking if anyone has tried any of the cask craft range from Murray McDavid. I have, and I really enjoy them. I think for the price point, I think about £33-34.
Yeah, they're really good.
You will struggle to find better value for money whiskies. There's better whiskies, don't get me wrong, but they have some absolute crackers, and they're always well received at the shop. It's like I had to keep things simple, just with sherry cask, port cask, bourbon cask. The odd Marsala or something pops up, but it's all well-known, well-respected distilleries, good quality spirit. A little over 44%. So, you know, they're going to be filtered. They're going to be chill filtered to a degree, but probably not as heavily filtered as a 43 or below. But really good quality stuff, and affordable enough that you could take a couple of bottles probably and enjoy them. Shami, hello Charlie, how are you? Shami's on from Norway. Haven't seen you in a while. She's not sure she's allowed to say this, but she's mainly been enjoying rum. Awesome. You can enjoy whatever you like, Charlie.
It's a safe space. You have whatever you like.
You don't have to ask permission to enjoy anything, really, do you?
I mean, we'd prefer it, but you don't need to ask permission. It's fine. Rum is not something I can get into at all. I just maybe haven't found I just don't have a sweet tooth, and I like it. It just tastes sweet to me when I have it. But maybe I just haven't had the right one yet. Other than Outlaw, their Pinot Noir, one,
which is an ex-Ardbeg cat.
Yes. Is that the one when me and Tony went out to Isla? She brought back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes,
that's the one. Yeah. So the casks that Jim managed to get are the casks that were used for maturing the black, which is pretty awesome. Shamini is on real. She's loving funky, dirty Jamaican rum. Jamaican rum. It's kind of like the Springbank of the rum world. It's dirty and funky and musky, and it's like fermented fruit to the max.
Making it sound very sexy. Like
it's. I need to do Rachel Barry's voice, and then everyone would be swooning over it, wouldn't they? It's so the Jamaican rum process. It has they do what I'm not sure if you heard of the dunder pit.
Dunder pit, yes. Yep.
Yeah, so that's a kind of Jamaican style. So basically, they throw the fruit into it and let it expose to the elements and the heat to like really ferment to the max. And then they used that to produce the rum. So it's got that funky, dirty. I don't think they do that in Springbank, but it's kind of a reminiscent kind of style flavour of that, which is awesome.
I think I was fermenting to the max today. It was so hot outside. It was lovely. I'm not going to complain, but it's like very hot. Oh, I have made the classic mistake of trying to get into a whiskey bottle live on the Blether.
You can't do it after one cup of tea, let alone 4 cocktails and a cup of tea.
Oh, I know. They were nice cocktails, but yeah, you don't realise how much alcohol is in a cocktail until you stand up and try and get to the train station.
Rick's back about the going back to Glendronach rebrand. They just wanted to get rid of Billy's capital letters in the middle of the name. You know what?
Yes.
I never even noticed that they'd done that. They're all same level typeface now, are they?
Oh, I haven't noticed that either. Have they always been known as the Glendronach? Because I've never. All right, so I've just not been adding the. Oh yeah, okay, I see that. Do you know that distillery? I cannot say that without sounding like stupidly Scottish.
It's that R, isn't it? That just rolls on forever. The Glendronach.
It is Glendronach. You just imagine, like, I don't know, like somebody riding a haggis across the Highlands to get there. And then, but let's see, like, so sometimes people say to me that
It sounds like
Glendronach
you're
is.
unwrapping a sweetie.
I'm just waffling because I'm trying to distract everybody from the fact that I can't bloody get into this. It's just a little bit of plastic. I can't get my finger underneath it to
Pop it.
break it. Because sometimes people say that Glendronach is a Speyside, and I've always refuted that because it's just not. But I see they're like talking a lot in the sort of rebrand about bringing Spain to the Highlands sort of thing. So they're obviously owning their Highlands.
Highland single malt. Although I do think that did SLWS class it as Speyside?
I've seen it somewhere as Speyside.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But yeah, definitely not Speyside.
But then some people class Glenglass as Speyside as well. So.
Well, I looked that up the other day. No, sorry, what did I look up the other day? I looked up Knockdhu because I'm sure Ingvar's book calls it a Speyside. And I would call Knockdhu Highland Distillery. But it says Highland on the bottle.
Yeah. But then so does Macallan and Harkless and Dalwhinnie.
Macallan uses Highland on the bottle. It's like the heart Speyside.
I think because it's not a region, it's like a new region, I think the guys just decide because it's a sub-region of the Highlands, they can choose. And I think it's more to do with the character of the spirit. We should just we'll have a wee break. Go and top up your glasses, guys. You don't need to see Kat howking into a bottle.
Why is it so hard?
Would have been better having a glass of wine or something. There we go.
I got it. I think I need a wee down now. You'd think that Speyside was more sellable on a bottle than Highland, because it's the one thing like we hear a lot is like, what whiskey do you like? Anything from Speyside. So you'd think that would be the more sellable kind of name to have on your bottle.
Yeah. Does Macallan need to be more sellable?
Well, no, I think they're doing all right, actually. Working away fine.
I'm just having a look at so Callum Renton, are you not on the City tonight? Clearly not. I thought the City had a reorganised tasting night with these guys. I think Ali's on talking about Turntable tonight. We're not into rum, but rum finished whiskies can be fantastic. Have you seen Callum's posts, Callum Kate Renton's posts on Facebook about the rum? It's basically they've got a rum finished whiskey from every distillery. It's a crazy collection of rum whiskey.
Do they have one from Glengarry? Because we're away to sell out of our one. So if you don't,
I do.
act now. You do.
Callum, if you want rum. Sorry?
Did you just say I do?
I do, yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
I think you sold me.
I think I did.
So yeah, if Callum, if you haven't, give us a shout. I'll go up to Glengarry and get it bottled for you.
Yeah, there's not many left. We emptied the cask last week.
So it's all pre-filled now. So
Yeah, we had to. It was impossible to get the spit it out when the guys worked out how many bottles were left. And he said, 35. So we tipped the cask and we got exactly 35 bottles out. So,
wow.
so yeah, not that many left. It's been a good whiskey.
Rob's a fan of Hampden Estate rum, super estery. Yeah. Hampden Estate is Jamaican rum. We've got a bottle of it in the shop just now. When we did a tasting, I'm not going to say it was a highlight because there was other ones that were favourite, but that was the rum that really stood out for people. It was like, wow, this is pretty funky. This is different. It wasn't sweet. It was quite dry. Kind of big grapefruit kind of notes, that real kind of sharp citrus, but dry citrus kind of flavours coming through. And then you get that kind of brown, sugary kind of cane sweetness comes through. Hampden Estate, banging distillery. Too sweet for Callum. Needs some dirty peated whiskey to cut through the sweetness. So a peated rum cask whiskey. Have you tried Fragrant Drops Ardmore in the dark rum cask?
That is good. So nice.
I should have some of that. Where is that bottle? I've got some of that back because it's not good. I don't have it here, but I've got some of that left, and that's got me excited now. You've reminded me of that.
Did they not Ardmore in a mezcal as well, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah, it was really good as well. Mezcal's got that slight smokiness as well. It's kind of the peated equivalent of tequila. I know that's a very broad brush. It's a lot more complex than that, but fantastic. Steve Gibson, what's the empty octave? That was a shop exclusive. I think I finished this off when Alan Finlay was on. Shop exclusive Cold Drain that we had for Inverurie, and just finished that off. Yeah, smaller casks, more cost cask contact. Doesn't have to be an earlier age statement release. This was an 11-year-old. We did a 10-year-old as well, and you get some really old casks and octaves. It's kind of, you very rarely get a full finish or a full maturation in an octave. More of a finishing kind of project where, you could have a 20, 30-year-old whiskey and maybe the cask isn't quite developing the way you want it to do, and you want to have that kind of really nice roundedness. Stick it in an octave, let them do the work over 3 or 4 months, and it's almost the equivalent of microwaving it, and it sounds kind of tacky and quick and cheap, but you're just giving it that little boost for flavour in the octave, which is pretty cool because you might get that real maturity from the long-term maturation, and then just that blast of oak or the blast of sherry or whatever kind of octave you're putting it into, just to round off some flavour. So yeah, it depends on the initial maturation, Steve, on that one. But I would highly recommend the Duncan Taylor range. They've got a name for doing really good octave stuff. I had a wide range of distilleries as well. Where have we got? Dominic's having a wee rant. He hates the trend of adding the to everything. The Donald, the beef burger. Is it Gordon Ramsay? The beef burger? Oh, the McAllen. I'm reminded to start to refer myself in the third person. The Dom.
The Dom sounds like an awesome name.
No.
I mean, I am the distillery cad. Or am I? Am I just distillery cad?
You are?
No. Oh, no, it's right there.
It's right in front of you.
but I've never heard anybody calling it the burger. But yeah, I do. Sometimes it's hard to fit in the word "the" in front of things, like the Glendronach or the. I don't know. Yeah, where did that? You told me where that came from. Why did we start adding the? Or maybe you didn't tell me.
No, I would have told you about the story of the Glenlivet because everyone was curtailing the Glenlivet name onto there. So you had Tom Mattel, Glenlivet, McAllen, Glenlivet, but they then became known as the Glenlivet to highlight that they were the original kind of Glenlivet. So everyone started tagging on the onto their names, and Glenlivet still haven't won. What have we got? Steve Turntable is unbelievable. He's making his way through the bittersweet. Bittersweet is probably the most popular one that we've had, which is the sherry cask led. Ali's got fantastic pedigree. He worked with Billy at both Glendronach and as Glenallachie as blender, and is now going on to do his own stuff. And staying quite locally, staying just outside Aberdeen as well. So doing some great stuff. Keith Duncan, also on YouTube. Hello, Keith. How are you? Hope you're doing well. He's looking forward to tomorrow's tasting. He's been staring at those bottles for days. So tomorrow we have our blind distillery exclusive tasting through the shop. So fully virtual. We've got 6 single casks from X, Y, Z, and ABC distilleries, and you guys get the chance to guess. We still have a couple available, but obviously we can't post them out now. You can buy them, you just can't join in live. But feel free to pop at the shop if you can tomorrow. We've got them made up ready for you. Who else is joining us in chat? Callum, so 15 rum finished whiskies this year.
Wow.
I try them all side by side on a monthly basis over the course of the year. Great fun. No Glengarry yet. That's the key word. No Glengarry yet.
I know. That's a shocking admission. But yeah, we do have one available. Head on down.
Comes a Campbell time, so it'll be up.
Oh, that's a long road for you to come. Geez, worth it though. But yeah, that's a long road.
Dave is asking, how's the coup?
Oh, I was like, you are talking about the whiskey, right? I was going to pick up my glass and I was like, no, what cow? But yes, no, I know what you mean. It's good. Like first sip, it's like quite high, isn't it? Okay, 52.2. Yeah, I'm going to leave it sitting for a minute. But I've never had, I've just forgotten what it is. It's Milton Duff, isn't it? What is it? Yeah, I don't ever had Milton Duff before. And it started off in a bourbon and then moved over to Oloroso.
Yeah.
So you get that dryness with it, which I like, because I'm not a big sherry fan. But it smells amazing. So I'm going to sit with it for a minute and then try it again. Like I say, I drank a few cocktails earlier, so I'm just going to sober up the tea and then gradually get into the whiskey. But so far, so good. Enjoying it.
Very good, very good. Dave, have you opened your bottle yet? Because you popped into the shop off the back of last week's Blether, actually, and had a wee purchase of the Auchlosson. So if you don't know what we're talking about when we mention the Auchlosson or the Coup or the Shaggy Coup bottle, that I'm sure you're going to have far more joy getting into than Kat did. Watch last week's Blether.
Yes.
With the bottler Phil Fraser. It's great fun. If you ever had it in your mind to buy a cask and bottle it, or maybe you've got a cask and you don't know what to do with it, and toying with bottling it, Phil is telling his story in our chat last week, and is quite happy for you to reach out to him at the Whiskey Tutor.
He was very honest as well. It was like no whole bar. There was like the good side and the bad side, and I think obviously it was a bit of a roller coaster learning how to do it, and it was quite a good insight into the whole process. and it's produced a very, very interesting whiskey as well. Oh yes, Stephen's asked the electric coup, but no, it wasn't. It was
No.
the Lawson,
The Shaggy Coup.
the Shaggy coup. I got a photograph. I was trying to get a photograph of it with a Highland coup in the background the other night when I was up at Meldrum House, but I couldn't get the cow to come close enough. So it's just a picture of it on the fence post. But
it needs to be digestive biscuits to get a coup close enough.
I know this is it. I wasn't carrying biscuits with me, unfortunately, so they didn't come over.
I mean, normally you just send one of the kids in to do that.
I was out for. I had like a couple of bottles that I hadn't got photographs of because that's what you do. So I said to my youngest, I was like, I'm going to go out for a walk. And do you want to come with me? He's like, yeah. Okay. So I filled my rucksack with whiskey and was just taking photographs of bottles of whiskey outside people's doors if they had an interesting door. So my son was like, oh my God, I am going home. Why do you always do this? But, you have to do it really quickly because if somebody opens their door and you're just crouched on their doorstep, hi. There's a bottle of whiskey here. I'll take that.
You're like the best and worst milkman at the same time. You put the milk at the door or the whiskey at the door and they're like, great, I've got whiskey. But then you run away with it.
I know. Well, if you ever look at my social media, you'll see that most of my whiskey photographs, if they're not in a field or at the sea, will be in a doorway. And I'm pretty much going to every single doorway in the town that I live in. Only if it's an interesting doorway, though. If you've got a boring door, then, there's no chance. But one of the doorways is the church. My kids were like, you cannot take a picture of a bottle of whiskey outside a church. I was like, it's all about the Holy Spirit. It's fine. So, have a look through and see if you can work out which one's the church.
Guys, if you have an interesting doorway, please message Kat. Let her know. She'll come round to your house with a bottle of whiskey.
There'll be
I
a
guess
dram.
what the trick is then is to have a bucket of water overhand, pour it so you run away, and then they've got a free bottle of whiskey.
Oh, no, that's not. No, we're not doing that. That's not nice. But yeah, send me pictures of doors, and I'll get back to you. Don't actually. Actually, I've been sent pictures of worse things. Send me pictures of doors. That'll it make much more sense than some of the other pictures I get sent. Oh, I'm not getting into that conversation though.
Let me guess. Bottles of gin or vodka. Yeah, that's what you get sent.
Let's go with that.
Yeah. Gilbert, good evening. Thank you for commenting and moving the conversation on. Gilbert is watching on Facebook. INSQ. Apologies if I've destroyed that pronunciation. Gilbert down at Arbiki. Let us know what exciting stuff you've got going on. Last time I spoke about Arbiki was you just opened the pods for the overnight stays. So if there's anything new on the radar, please do let us know.
I love that distillery. It's one of my favourite ones I visited in a while. It's lovely.
Still not been there.
Oh, you have to go.
Yeah. He's saying no worries about the name, which is a polite way of saying, yeah, you pictured it, but too nice. I just poured this funky little sample. This is the Ben Rennis 9-year-old. Yep, I think, from Great Drams, who had just taken in store. So this is run by a guy called Greg, and I think this one won double gold San Francisco awards this year. So it's a PX cask, so not up your street, Cat. I'm sorry. But, we've got lovely PX colour there. You think that nice dark sherry?
That's very dark. Do you know what? Even though I don't really like a PX cask, I love saying Pedro Jimenez because it just sounds amazing. I'm going to get a cat and call it Pedro Jimenez, just so I can stand outside and say,
Pedro and Jimenez. You get 2 cats.
yeah, that's true, I should. Oh, Gilbert's inviting us to the Dram Good Whisky Festival in Edinburgh. I don't know if I know this one. Do I know this one? Dram Good Whisky Festival.
2nd and 3rd of August.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the holiday weekend, I think?
I don't know. Are you guys hosting it, or are you guys just there exhibiting? Let's have a look. Dram Good Whisky Festival. Oh yeah. That's cool. So you guys are hosting it, organizing it. Yeah, I see that. Well, that would be fun.
Can't say no to that.
No, definitely not. Oh, I'm on holiday then as well.
That's Turner Show weekend.
Oh, you kind of missed the Turner Show.
It brings out the tutor in all this. Yeah. Oh, no way. Sorry, Gilbert. I'm going to have to pass. I've got a festival on up my neck of the woods for Foghouse Gin. We are probably going to be the official, apart from our shop launch, it's going to be the official launch of the new gin coming out then as well. So really can't miss that.
No.
Always better have a bottle of it to strategically place, and I even stacked a pile of books so it would be proud of place here, and I forgot the bloody bottle. Never mind.
You'll have to tell everyone all about it, or is it a secret until you launch it?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a secret. Some people know, but not everyone. So we'll keep it that way. Follow We Are Foghouse on social medias, and you'll find all there is to know. And there might be that might be a link to the Clynelicia I mentioned earlier as well. So I said I'd say no more, but there's another little drip feed of information.
You're the worst. You're going to give it all away in a minute.
There's everything. Tim Powell's is on his 2nd dram, Glen Scotia 10-year-old. The bottle has opened right up. So is that the first time you've poured it, or second time you go back to it and you feel it's opened up? Because you do get that, don't you? Once a bottle is open, maybe some people refer to it as a neck pour. I'm not a big believer in the neck pour, given so much of a difference. But I do believe that after a little bit of time, after that first couple of drams are out, then the whiskey will change in the bottle. What's your thoughts on that, Kat? Have you experienced neck pour before?
I think, see, when you first try a whiskey, you kind of think you should be able to taste everything and pick out everything in that one first pour. But I always struggle the first time. I have to leave whiskey for a while and go back to it before I can figure out what's going on in there. But it definitely, over time, it definitely oxidizes and changes, and you'll get some things coming out and stuff. But yeah, the whole neck pour thing, I'm not excited into that. I like the noise it makes when you open it up and it goes glug 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 for the first time. That's always really exciting.
That's because you've worked so damn hard to open the bottle that you feel the release as well.
It's so exhausting. But
it's been half full for 3. I'm going to say half full because I'm an optimist. Half full for 3 months, and it's much improved.
Oh wow,
okay. That's interesting.
That's interesting because some people have what is it, the gas that they put in the neck of the bottle to stop? Is it argon or something they put in it to stop oxidizing?
Oxidizing, yeah. It's just like a wee needle you push in, isn't it? And then you can fill up the bottle. He said it's been half empty, half full for 3 months, so it couldn't have been that bad for you to get halfway down the bottle to decide, you know what, I'm going to put this away for a couple of months and see what
Yeah, that's a good point.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Does it make much of a difference? Would you get to the point where it oxidized? I mean, you'd have to leave it for years for it to oxidize so much that it was a massive change, right?
I guess it depends on what's left in the bottle. The more oxygen in the bottle, the more oxidizing it's going to. For example, I've got this, and I'll be honest, I've struggled to finish it. It's hardly worth keeping in the bottle for now. But if I was to leave that for, I would say, a month or a couple of months, that would oxidize far greater than that. And it depends on the level of the liquid. And I know I had the chat with Dominic, who's I've got this in my hand, so I'm just going to pour that out. Speaking of Dominic, or the Dom, as we're now referring to on YouTube, and he's got a handy, and I think it's a practice I'm going to take up, is if you get to that level of bottle where you're looking at something, down at that end, then for longevity's sake, pop it into a smaller bottle. If you've got sample bottles lying around, keep them because they're great for that kind of thing.
That's a good
The alternative is an infinity bottle, which is quick. And it just stops that oxidation.
Yeah, if you're pouring it into little bottles, they'll write on what it is, because I've got so many little bottles with no writing on, and I don't know what's in there. Mystery bottles, because you think you're going to remember, and you don't.
Or you write like. I had something on, and because it was a bottle where I already had a label, so I scribbled out the actual label and just put down the side. And I can't remember what I wrote on it, but it was meant to remind me of what it was, and it was like the subtitle, like the Founder's Reserve or whatever, It was, and I'll remember that. And I've got this bottle, and I just got no idea what it is. And I've told myself what it is, but I can't remember what the clue is. Like a really shit treasure hunt. I forgot what the clue meant.
I love the fact that you wrote yourself a clue and couldn't figure out what the clue was.
Yeah.
Just
maybe
on Gilbert. No, carry on.
I was going to say, maybe I have to get into the same state as I was when I wrote the clue to remember what the clue was.
Maybe, yeah. Well, that's the key. We need to get a drunk Mike, and he'll figure it out for you. So Gilbert was speaking to Kirsty Black, and he's asking if we would like to have her on the Blether. She is on my list of people that I really, 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 really want on the Blether. So that would be awesome. Because I don't know if she was over. We had the Malt Distillers Association at the distillery a couple of weeks ago, and I was hoping she was going to be there. And I didn't just want to ask every woman, "Are you Kirsty Black?" But I was, because I thought maybe I'd recognize her, because I think I've seen pictures of her before, but I didn't get time to Google her before, and I didn't want to be like Googling.
Like one of the guys at the airport. They just stood outside with their name outside the distillery.
I know. I should. How many reelies was that? I don't know. With nobody counting, we'll need to watch it back and see how many reelies that was. I really, 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 really want her on the Blether. See, when you say a word over and over, it doesn't sound like the word anymore. And I am absolutely waffling. Absolute nonsense.
Good waffle. We like a waffle. I seen Russell was doing an event at was it Against the Grain? Russell and Nigel were doing a pretty cool Gordon MacPhail tasting with Juliet. But I think Juliet kind of runs Against the Grain, or owns it, or is in charge of it. But it looked like a pretty cool event. Sorry I didn't make it up, Russell. I know you invited me in a random weeknight. Events away from the house are tough at the moment, so doing quite regular.
Sorry, but I didn't get invited. So what's that all about? Russell,
be friends.
Oh, I thought we were friends. I gave you your title. Like, you would just be Russell if it wasn't for me. But you are now the Russell Hoff. But do you know what? I'm taking that back. You're just Russell again. Like, earn that. You have been demoted.
Can you just let it be the Russell? Yeah.
You could be just the Russell. Yeah. That's fine. I'll remember that. Cat's beard.
I'm raising a glass to Sorry, to Rachel on her birthday. It's Rachel's birthday today. So happy
Russell's
birthday
Rachel's birthday.
to Rachel's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to Russell's Rachel.
It's a time for birthdays, isn't it?
It is. There's a lot on the go. That means everybody was
Shagging in
doing.
October.
I was trying to word it in a nicer way, but yeah. What is it about October that?
It's probably because there's nothing happens in October. There's no it's school holidays, isn't it?
Halloween.
Tatty holidays.
Oh, it'll be a time.
There's more than just tatty houking going on in October.
Do you know there's nothing more exciting than a good tatty, so that'll be it.
Reb, you've really just asked that question at the wrong time. What are we discussing? We're discussing why so many people are born in July, and what is it about October that means that that's
Instigated that.
instigated. Yeah, because September, I'm a September baby. You can understand that because it's New Year's on January. It's celebrations. People got no money. They're not going out. So, staying at home, what do you do?
Well, this is it. Well, we all know what they did.
Clearly. Dominic is sailing through. He's on drum number 4, Kilchoman PX cask. I do like Kilchoman I love it. I have noticed a little dip in recent releases that would normally fly. Just aren't quite getting that, but I think there's maybe a tendency across the industry at the moment where we're not, if it's not that kind of inaugural or that very, very small single cast release or Macallan, it's just not quite going as quickly as perhaps it was in the kind of since COVID till now. We do see that kind of slows down a little bit.
I think sometimes people get overwhelmed with lots of releases in one go, though, don't they? Like, you have got to buy everything that gets released, and then there's just so many new releases that people just get a little bit kind of, they can't keep up with it,
I think that FOMO movement has kind of waned a little bit. There's the Paul Langlois from our American is an exception. Springbank, any Springbank's an exception. There are that ones that still tick all the boxes, but we're going to see, it's a good thing in a way because it means that we get to sell the whiskies rather than just put them online and they'll go off in packages. I know Russell's, if you're still watching, I know that was a bugbear of yours that you didn't get the chance to sell the whiskey. It was always delivered, released, and posted out. We like to have them in our hands. We like to hand them over to the customer. We love the idea that a customer walks in and says, "Oh my God, you've got that on the shelf," and feel like they've found a little bit of treasure there, which is what retail selling is all about for us, isn't it? It's about having them face to face, talking to them, explaining the whiskey, if possible, giving them a wee taste of it, and then going away happy. You don't get that online. You don't get that with box. But Kilchoman, the lock on, the PX cask, they haven't kind of gone this year the same as what previous years have suggested. So I wonder if that's an impact, economic impact rather. It's certainly not a quality impact because I've tried them both and they're both banging dram.
There's so much more choice out there. We can shop around and get something similar that was maybe released first or a bit cheaper, or there's just so much choice. It's not a bad thing. Yeah. I think everyone is picking up on Dominic's comment that he's just discovered it's his daughter's birthday today. Did you see?
No.
It's further up.
It's my birthday today. I just found out when I went into the kitchen and asked my daughter what the cake was for.
That's terrible.
How many children do you have, Dominic? And how did you not know?
I hope you didn't get a bit of cake after that.
No.
Poor Queen.
And so you asked your daughter what her cake was for, and she said, "It's my birthday." How do you answer that? Oh, of course I knew that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's your birthday present. Whip out £20 out of your pocket and say, "There you go." I've thought long and hard about that.
My wife's the way
How,
and she usually tells me, oh my God. I feel like when you have a child, there's a sort of date you write down. But
oh,
did she make her own cake then? She just sat quietly in the kitchen eating a cake, wishing people knew it was her birthday. I hope not. Happy birthday to Dominic's daughter.
yeah, and happy birthday on Saturday to your sister. You remember that one on time. He probably knows that because his daughter told him, "Oh, by the way, yeah, since you forgot mine, don't forget Auntie."
I know, that'll be it. So yeah, lots of birthdays in July.
Oh, dear. Peterhead is on dram number 2. Glen Murray, 9-year-old from Single Malt Whisky Society. 60.7. Peterhead, you like your strong whiskies, don't you? Another one, 60 plus. First full barrel, that is in. Assuming I get the FFB correct there. Rev, well, in Northern Hemisphere, birth peaks are July, August. The South in Australia, September, October. The reason is obvious, I think.
Well, do you think it's like a sort of like a survival thing of
To keep warm when it's cold.
like we know to give birth in like the summertime so our babies don't freeze to death, like some sort of natural kind of instinct to get it on in October so that we have babies in July.
Yeah, and that would tie in with the Australia because they're kind of flip side, aren't they?
Yeah, maybe it is. We're just in tune to our caveman days. We know when to procreate.
Cave people, cat. Cave people.
Sorry, people day. Sorry.
The wife's away. She usually tells me, "Love it, Dom, love it."
Ah, Dave's got the Ochlos and Milton Duff now as well. What do you think of it, Dave?
Mm-hmm. He did comment earlier that he's going to open it because he didn't have the Mortlach 10-year-old from a rare find to open. I made a boo-boo on that one. And I do apologise, Dave, that you came all the way out to pick up. We didn't have one for him, but no. We are about 4 days away from resolution to that. It should be arriving with us next week. If you want to hand deliver it to you, Dave, I will come into Aberdeen and meet you in the grill or somewhere nice to hand you the bottle.
Well, that's good. He's still getting it though.
Yeah, thank God. And just on that note, when I offer to hand deliver a bottle to Dave, Callum, I'm not hand delivering that Glengarry rum cask to Campbelltown because that's just a bit of a trek before you get any ideas.
Yeah, no, that is. It's definitely worth going once you get there. It's such a beautiful part of the world, but yeah. Long old road to get there. We can maybe meet halfway. I don't know. Where's halfway between Campbelltown and Aberdeenshire? I'll go to Oban for you. Get some fish and chips.
Yeah. I think Callum would win the less fuel consumption on that one.
I know. It'd be nice to go back.
Red's comment on Dominic's birthday chat. His wife also has to remind him as well. So Red was brought up in England, where even Jews celebrate according to the secular calendar. However, in Israel, they observe according to the Hebrew calendar.
Oh.
I would struggle. I struggle with one calendar. I struggle with Google Calendar, let alone and that tells me when everything is. Having two calendars to work about.
That would be. I had he comes into the distillery. Well, not quite a bit, but he's like a sort of I started going, oh, you know him, Mike. Yuri. Do you know Yuri? I think you went out with him one night after a whiskey launch with Lorenzo. And
Oh, yes. Yeah.
yeah, so Yuri came in. He's from Israel. So he came in to say hello last week, and he's got his own cask of milk and honey. So he took in a little sample for me to try. So I can't remember what it started in, but he moved it over into a PX cask. But obviously in Israel it's a lot hotter, so everything matures a lot quicker. But it was lovely. Really, he struggled with the ABV though, so with the rapid maturation, the ABV rises. So it's like sitting at something like 60%, he was saying. So it definitely needs a bit of water, but it was lovely. Really nice. And it was nice to see him. But I think they
Callum was saying, how about Glasgow? Because that's where he lives. I have always thought you were a Campbelltown guy. Maybe it's just the obsession with the Glen Scotia made me think it's on your doorstep. So I don't know why I thought you were Campbell. Are you Campbelltown original now?
Well, Glasgow's a bit easier to get to, so that's why it makes much more sense for us to come there than Campbelltown.
Much less fun though. Callum, before we go on to Russell's question, he's asking how much is the Geary rum cask?
Well, I did see that, but I also saw his comment about how the Blether's not been as good since Russell left. So for you, Callum, it's 500.
He didn't say it wasn't as good. He just said it's not been the same.
It's 225.
I don't even think he said it's not been the same. He said he left it open ended, didn't he? Russell, the Blethers haven't been the same. Yeah.
Well, there's been less Telegraph poll chat for sure.
I think there's been almost zero Telegraph poll chat.
I would probably say it has been zero. I can't think of an occasion where it's come up in conversation. There's been some excellent trebuchet chat, but
Callum said he was born and brought up around the corner from Glen Scotia. So yeah, that was he just got tired of the commute, so moved to Glasgow.
I know it is a good bit out the road, Campbellton. But yeah, it is absolutely lovely. Absolutely lovely.
Pete Head is saying he's on YouTube about forgetting birthdays. For the record, he's divorced. Are you divorced because you forgot a birthday? It's a hell of a. I don't know if I could finish that sentence, but yeah, that's one way of getting divorced. Completely unrelated. Reb is asking, Kat, how does he directly send a message to you?
So like work-wise, I'm not sure I should read out my work's email, but you can find me if you do Instagram. You can find me through that, or Facebook. You find me through that. And well, actually, we emailed. I think you did email me, Reb. So I can. If you're looking for my work's email, I can find you through my work's email. Or my other work's email, which is the shop email. I've got too many email addresses. It's ridiculous.
Reb, if you don't have Kat's email, send me a message. I can link the two of you together as well, because I know for a fact you've got mine.
Oh no, wait. He means on this chat. All right, okay. I don't know. How do you do it on there? Like, it would just be.
I'm not sure. Oh God. Reb, you're watching. Oh, because Kat, you don't have a YouTube channel, do you? You don't have a YouTube account.
I don't.
So you can't. You won't be able to tag Kat because Kat's coming in from a Facebook account. We're using Streamline, so it means we're using both formats effectively, which is why.
Oh yeah, because every time, like if Rick, for example, mentions me, I get a notification on Facebook because obviously he's watching through Facebook. But yeah, you're doing it through YouTube, so that's the difference, isn't it?
Yeah. But Reb, if you want to join on Facebook, you can tag her directly through that. So I'm not going to go any further. We're going to go back in. Russell, I don't think you've been watching the Blether that often because you're asking a question you know, and I think people will be able to tell you the answer that I'm going to give you. But thank you very much for the £1,000,000. Russell's got a question for both. You're now millionaires. I'm going to check my bank account just shortly to make sure that the money is there before. But thank you, Russell. You're making far too much money up at Gordon McPhail. Do you build your own distillery? If so, where? Or do you buy one? Assume they're all available to buy, then which one? Easy answer for me on the buying one would be Ardmore. Teachers would then be able to get to F, and all the whiskey would be Ardmore
Teachers
whiskey.
is a quality blend.
It is, but if I'm buying Ardmore, I'm using it for single malt. Too good. It makes teachers good, but it's too good to be.
I know, it's such a beautiful distillery. It really is lovely. Just right, because I went past it today on the train, and I love when the train goes past the side of the distillery because you're so close to it as well. So I don't know if I've ever actually given an answer to this one because I don't know if I know which one. Maybe I'd have to build one, but I would definitely go. Well, I'd like to say I'd definitely go back west, but there's so many distilleries out the west. I've definitely got stiff competition. I love where Glenglassaugh is, but it's not the prettiest distillery out there. So maybe I would buy it and knock it down and rebuild it and make it look pretty.
Brutal.
Well, I know it's just quite ugly. So it probably just needs a little, like it looks, if you're in the still house looking out, it looks absolutely gorgeous. But from the outside looking in, it's not that exciting. So maybe
what's on the inside it counts, Cat. You should remember.
Well, that is true. I do remember that. So maybe that one, but I need to give some serious thought to that. What's your answer, Russell? What one would you buy? Maybe would he buy Glen Scotia, wouldn't he? That is an awesome
I think Glen Scotia would be up there. If I was to build my own one, I would probably look at trying to rebuild the Jericho.
Oh, that would be cool.
That would be, if I was to build a new distillery, I'd probably, if you're assuming money is no object and I could buy the rights to that name, or the Benahee malt, that kind of idea, that's what I'd be looking at.
Can you see where the distillery was? I've never gone down for a look, but can you see where it was?
The part of the malt barns building is still part of the farmer's cattle shed. And I actually got an introduction to the farmer who owns the land a wee while ago, so I'm going to go up and have a chat with him, which is pretty cool.
That'd be cool.
Russell would buy Glen Elgin.
That's interesting. Do you know, Russell, if you did, you'd have to do like a special yearly release of casks that were made from telegraph poles. That would be amazing. Like what would you call
telegraph poles made of oak?
I don't think they are, to be fair. But maybe you would just have to not call it like a whiskey. You'd have to call it, I don't know, something else. Old White Horse is amazing. Because we're talking about blends.
Yeah. I've got nothing against teacher. I've got nothing against any blends. I just think that Ardmore should be single malt. Ardmore and Ardlayer. For a waste. Not a waste in that sense, but we should be drinking more.
Yeah.
I've ranted myself into silence now.
You don't see Ardlayer that much, but it's a lovely spirit.
Dave's got a great quote, and here's one for us to think about. He would like to get Macallan and turn it back into an everyday person's whiskey. Why don't we put both our £1,000,000 together, get £2 million, and reopen the old distillery on the site of Macallan? Let's still say it. And we'll just start making old, and we'll call it, I don't know, Ye Olde Macallan or something like that.
Ye Olde Macallan. Or we can call it what everybody else seems to call Macallan is McCallum's. Oh my gosh. It annoys me almost as much as people who mispronounce Isla. Like, I think that one gives me the anger the most. But oh my gosh, the amount of people that call them McCallums. It's like, you can't buy it if you can't pronounce it. It's the name's on the bottle.
Russell, as a proof that I'm not anti-blends, here's a wee Chivas. Proper old school, back in the fluid ounce days. You'll remember those well, I'm sure.
That's a cute bottle.
I love it. I can't remember where I got this bottle from.
I think Cam suggests that we buy Ardmore and sell it to Mike for a large profit.
Yeah, you can tell he's originally from the way too.
Dominic's on dram number 5 tonight. You're getting quite a range of them on the go. Ben Nevis 10 and Octave. I think we've had a few chats about Octave tonight. It's got a good mention too.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, yeah. I do like an Octave. I just like the kind of impact it makes in a short time. So, and then I don't know if anyone has done the Duncan Taylor. They do a tasting every now and then where they have 6 whiskies. 3 of them is pre-Octave, 3 of them is after the Octave, and you can see the difference that 4 or 5 months makes. And it's really interesting. Fergus normally does them. He's the brand ambassador for Duncan Taylor. Rev is saying we should set up an organisation, the RSPSD, Royal Society for the Protection of Scottish Distillery. And we could put distilleries like Ardmore and Scapa into immediate protection.
I don't think Ardmore needs protection. I think it's well looked after.
Yeah, but protects from blame. I'm joking.
Well, we've got
because in terms of Reb, the kosher beliefs and the way you drink, how does blend? Because there can't be very many blends that don't have or traceability on kind of what sherry's being used in there. That must be awkward, or is it something you try and avoid?
Yeah.
Sorry to throw in a serious kind of question into the chat.
I know. I think we both decided, like last time we were chatting to Reb, that we probably don't know enough about the whole kosher thing. We'll have to find out some more about it. I've just seen his comment there. Don't McLaren make baby buggies? That's McLaren. The McLaren baby buggies, are they the same McLaren that make cars, or is it just 2 different McLaren names?
One's the McLaren and the other is just McLaren.
The cars has to be the one that's obviously. That's the posher one. Oh, Dave was at Duncan Taylor's tasting with Mark Thompson last Saturday. I saw that.
That was in Aberdeen, yeah.
Yeah. So, because obviously Mark moved from... where did Mark move from? He moved from...
Just a wee company. You might have heard of them. They're quite small space, just upcoming distillery.
Honestly, no. Where did Mark just move from? Go and tell me. I can't remember. He moved from...
They've got a green bottle. It's in a triangle with a deer on the front.
He moved from Glenfiddich.
That quaint little Tweed distillery just outside Dustin.
I know. Because he was with them for years and he's moved over to Duncan Taylor's because obviously Duncan Taylor are based in Huntly. So I keep thinking I'm just going to bump into him. But I was climbing Ben Rinnes yesterday and I know he runs up Ben Rinnes. And I was like, walking up it's a challenge. How anybody runs up that mountain is unreal. And running down it's even, because I can't walk down it without sliding and falling over and stuff, but amazing. But I think he would do quite a good show at a tasting. He talks very well because we had him on the Blether. I don't know, was it last year maybe?
It was last summer, I think. It was because I didn't make it. I was doing a tasting and jumped on. I think I jumped on a little bit from the Meldon House car park. Is when I started, and you guys were just wrapping up. But then because I didn't actually join in, I just started asking questions. but you're on it for because you're wrapping up, and you're on it for a good kind of half hour wrapping up. And it's not just Margaret's good for that. It's quite a few of us do.
You know, he was lovely to talk to. Because I remember I needed to log in. I needed to get a code sent to your phone, but there's no phone reception at Meldrum House. So I'd phoned like your wife and I'd phoned the hotel. And I was like, I couldn't get in to start the chat. I was like, I can't leave Mark Thompson sat there like a lemon. But yeah,
stood up.
I know. So no, he was good fun. So if you check that one out as well, look back and you can see our Blether with Mark.
Yeah, Ed is off to an in-person tasting for the Octaves at the Bank in Huntley tomorrow.
Oh,
That should be.
Well, that would have been a good idea for my birthday. I should go and do that.
Is it sold out?
Yeah, let me know
if it's sold out. Yeah, be the nice guy. You could just, wait for Kat at the door, hand her your ticket.
Well, do you know, I'm on taxi duties this week for my children and their various jobs that they go to. So I'm a sober day tomorrow. I've got to drive, so I probably wouldn't be able to go to it anyway. Oh, it is sold out.
It is sold out.
Okay. I'll need to look out for that next time because they've got a great little whiskey tasting room because we went to the launch of it, the open.
Yeah, it's really nice.
They've got a great space in there.
Reb is saying, so just on the blends, the Cashrus organisations get updated database from Diageo and Chivas, etc., regarding recipes for their blends and malt blends. Basically, the more premium the blend, the greater change of use of active, greater chance of use of active sherry cask.
All right. Okay.
There we go. So, okay, and then there's a confidentiality clause for certain Scotch blends. That's a given, I think. But you know what? Tell us anyway. Yeah, cool. Spill some tea.
Nobody's watching. You can tell.
It won't go live. You, me, and these four walls.
No one will know.
Come on then, halfway through the year. More than half. I know it's crazy. Dram of the year so far this year.
He's written drama, and let me tell you, Russell.
I was trying to think of a big drama that we could have played on, like the Glendronach rebrand. No, scandal.
I don't know actually. Best drama of the year so far. I mean, you're going to come away with something ridiculous, Russell, like a 1943 something lost distillery made out of like crystal glass and fairy dust. But we haven't got anything. I've not got anything as like exciting as that. I'm afraid. And I still haven't tried my samples that Mike's kept for weeks now from Port Ellen and Lagavulin. I've got those to try. I don't know. Have you got one?
Have I got one? I was trying to think. See, it's been a couple. It's been a weird year in terms of drams. I haven't drank as much variety as I have in years gone by. I guess that's a little bit of having a child and doing more tours and tastings and being on the road a little bit more. I like, and I've been drinking a lot of gin. Relatively speaking, I've been drinking more gin because we've been doing some experimenting and stuff behind the scenes. See what really worried me the other night. This I've just tried it, but this is banging, by the way, that Inverness. I can see why it won some awards. They have another whiskey out, which is Cawdor Springs, the Royal Brackla. 7-year-old. It's fully matured in a red wine cask. First time I tried it, I thought it was absolutely outstanding. Then last night I got a sample because we got them in the shop yesterday. And I tried it and it was really, really bitter. Almost, it tasted to me like somebody had poured red wine into an ashtray. And I was just like, it was just really not good. But I remember it was really good before. So I went back to an old favourite of mine, which was the Mortlach 12-year-old from Woodrose, which was probably my whiskey of the year from 2 years, a year and a half ago, 2022. And I tried that, and that was really bitter and tart and stuff as well. And I was like, well, I know that's a banging dram. So I was like really worried that it ginified my palate. And I was like, how could I get back into like properly taste? Because I haven't done proper tastings of whiskey, as in kind of studying them and kind of doing tasting notes or anything like that for a while. I've just been kind of enjoying it, really. But tonight, sitting back, having a couple of these drams, I think I've gotten over it. I was maybe just tired and annoyed, and I'm just not in the mood for whiskey. You know, when you think, you know what's going to set me straight is a dram of whiskey. When it's probably the last thing you actually need, and you're drinking it thinking this will sort me out, but it's just not sitting there, and you're just like, no. So I must have been in that kind of mood. And yeah, I haven't really this year. I did like the turntable stuff. I thought they were like a big surprise, not surprise, but they really kind of lit up. That bittersweet sherry cask was really, really good. Really enjoyed that. Ardnahoe, really like that for a kind of 5-year-old young Isla spirit. Maybe too pricey at 75 to kind of get top award, but banging dram, really good. I can't remember if the Fragrant Drops Ardmore was this year or the tail end of last year.
I think it was last year, because I remember you giving me a sample of it, the rum one. I think that might have been last year.
If it was this year, that would be definitely up for a shout. But yeah, I think it was the tail end of last year.
I haven't tried as much whiskey this year, obviously, because I'm not at the shop as much. Not that I just stood in the shop drinking all the whiskey, but quite often there is a chance to like sample new stuff that came in. So I haven't really been to any events or anything to try anything else. So I don't think I haven't really had a lot of, I mean, I've kind of opened a couple of bottles that I've got on the shelf, but I can't think of anything. We are only halfway through the year, so maybe by winter time, by Christmas time, I'll have my whiskey of the year by then.
An OB that surprised, I wouldn't say it surprised me, but one I really enjoyed when it came out was Russell just said, Indies are either too easy or too awful. What about an OB? So the distillery bottle surprised you. Really, really enjoyed the Tomatin took out a 12-year-old sherry cask as part of their new core, or not new core range, but in addition to the core range. Absolutely banging. And the Spey Trilogia, which is port. Most of you know how much I love port casks. So that's if you know the Spey core range, they have Tritinia, which is bourbon cask. They've got Fumari, which is the peated bourbon, and then they've got Tenny or Teeny, however you pronounce it, as a port cask. So they married all three of them and then put them into further tonic port casks for marrying. And I thought that was fantastic. Really, really good. Little under £60. And I think it's got liquid up to 12 years old in it. So decent. Not too high. So yeah. That would be the ones that have kind of stood out for me. As OBs. And Arno, which I'm away to pour a
So-
wee dram of just now.
Is that the Arden Hole?
Yeah.
Ah. See, I'm interested to try it, but I kind of want to just wait until I go to Islay and get it from the distillery. But I don't know when I'm going to Islay, so I might just have to. But yeah, I was kind of put off with the price a little bit.
Mhm.
But then I
Yeah.
think it's just the way whiskey's sitting just now, isn't it? I mean, they're all kind of gone up in price recently, so I guess what used to be a 40, 50 pound bottle is now a 70, 80 pound bottle.
You know
It's
what?
just
On first look, that's not too dissimilar to the New Glendronach bottle. If you can see
okay.
that. From what I've seen in print and on the video, I think the base is slightly different, whereas Glendronach kind of have a couple of grooves in here, but that kind of shape, that slightly outward broad shoulder, I think Glendronach might be a bit more rounded than that. I would say that's the kind of shape that they've gone for.
Maybe it's, I don't know, to do with kind of glass and sustainability and recycling and stuff. Who knows? Maybe it's a cheaper way of doing it or a more sustainable way of doing it.
Or just an excuse to get rid of the big D.
Well, maybe that's what it's all about. Too. It took me a second to try and figure out what you were talking about there. But yes, to get rid of the big D.
That D, Cat, that D.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking about as well when I was thinking about the big D.
Every time I see this, I do think that we need to speak to the design team.
They have stolen your branding.
That's a better picture of
It is really similar to the whiskey shop. Really similar.
it. Compliment. I'll take it.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
Yeah.
we need to get our merch on the go, and that way people officially know that it's us and not Arden Hole.
Yeah, we'll have to get Stuart Lang on the Blether and ask him who did his design.
I know. Well, that's a good point as well. We are coming up towards the end for summer. We've got somebody next week, but after that, we're having a summer break. So if anybody has suggestions of who they want on, get them fired into the comments, and I will write them down. And I'll start looking into that for when we restart again.
Absolutely. Callum's asking if we're back to the October fascinations. No, we are not back there. And Russell, yeah, I agree. And rightly or wrongly, Squash and Billy right out of the brand. They have to do their own thing now. They have to. And I commented on. I can't remember if I commented on somebody else's post or my post about the rebrand, but it's kind of a regurgitated hatred of the change and the handover. Everyone loved Glendronach, and it was what it was. It got sold, and new people are in charge, and we just got to kind of live with that. Most people seem to have been able to get over it and move on. And if they don't like the rebrand, they'll buy something else. They'll go to Tamdhu or go to Barclays or whatever other whiskey does really good sherry casks. It's just every time you see a Glendronach on a social media, somebody has to, it's not like it was when Billy was there. Like, so what? Things, we move on, we change, and I can guarantee, well, maybe not guarantee you, but the people we have them in the shop, and when Glendronach and the Sherry Bombs Society it was pretty much Glendronach was the spearhead behind Sean Russell's Gas Society and the Sherry Bomb Society and all that. And most people, or more people than not, said, I can't believe we're getting whiskey this good for this price. It's so cheap, so affordable. And now they're getting asked to pay what, a little. it's probably more like their inflation has gone up beyond the normal, and that's what's annoying people. And then there's a perception of is the quality going up the same? Again, it's debatable. It's people have to make their own mind up about it, but let's move on. You don't have to regurgitate the same hatred every time about geofiltration and natural color. Some of the best whiskies or the most popular whiskies out there are colored. You know,
I think like the main point is though all they've done is change the box. I mean, like they haven't changed, so you're still buying the same spirit that you were buying when it was in a tube. It's just now in a cardboard box. Like, I'm not sure I understand. Like that, I mean, maybe I haven't been part of the Glendronach story long enough to understand why people feel so passionately about it. But I think every distillery is going to move away from those beautiful tubes anyway, because they're not bloody recyclable, are they? Like the metal bit, you can't do anything with. So I mean, if they'd massively changed the spirit or changed the core range, or they're not doing anything that they haven't done already. They're just putting it in a cardboard box. It's not a huge it's not a huge change, I don't think. Maybe I've missed the point.
But I think it runs deeper. It runs deeper than that. In that Billy sold it to Brown Forman. It's no longer Billy Walker, which it's like what's I'm trying to think of a sporting analogy, but you're just going to like roll your eyes at that.
I'm not going to know.
It's like changing. If you grew up with Sean Connery as James Bond, and then they moved on to Roger Moore or whoever was after that, like, you can't do that. It's never going to be the same. And then eventually you kind of get used to Roger Moore, and then George Lazenby comes in there. It's that kind of, and a lot of people don't realize we're still working, or Rachel's still working with Billy's spirit. They're still working with his casks, the casks that he bought in, he selected, he filled. These are the casks that are now being chosen for distillery exclusives and making the core range. So we're not even 7 years in, 8 years in. So there's no whiskey being released by Rachel that hasn't been drawn from a cask that isn't Billy's. So that whole argument, I think, is unless Billy knew what he was doing, and he's like, well, you know what? For the next couple of years, I'm just going to buy NAF casks, and then I'll fuck off. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not the mantra that he took on. I don't think he's that kind of guy, knowing him. He was always sourcing the quality, he's always sourcing the best. And, but like I say, it's what it is. People move on, and if they don't move on, then if they want to sit in stupor and take tiny little sips of a 2018 Allardyce or 2015 Revival to make it last, then that's their prerogative. Just don't bring it up every time I post on Facebook and complain about it.
It's not like, it's not even like it's been kind of, I don't know, sold on and kind of, to like somebody that didn't care. Like, Dr. Rachel Bauer is like pretty iconic. She knows what she's doing. I think she would be looking after it and looking after the legacy of what Glendronach is as well. I don't think she would drastically move away from the recipe that we all know works for Glendronach. Everybody knows it's all about, sherry casks.
From a marketing point of view, I think the biggest faux pas they had when they relaunched the Revival was kept it. And that the same grain kept the Revival name. They had a great opportunity there to say to Rachel, look, this is yours now. We want you to guide the relaunch of the 15-year-old. Yeah, keep it as a 15, or even change it to a 16 or 14. They had that check, because that Revival was a pretty iconic whiskey. And that was the dram that kind of really, when I was getting into whiskey 10 years ago, that was one that was a big, big favourite. Full Oloroso. Lovely drop. They stopped it to kind of similar to what they're doing with the 18 just now, is they're kind of holding it back to drip feed it to make sure they can keep stock and replenish that stock. They made that mistake with the 15 where they just had to stop it. We don't have the stock, we're going to have to stop it, come back in a couple of years. fine. But when they relaunched it, personally, I think they should have rebranded it as, I don't know, I mean, they've come out with some great names before, the Boyne's Mill, or kind of distillery related, something completely different to make people say, okay, so I'm not going to compare this to the old revival because it's not trying to be that. And they rebranded it exactly the same colour. Tube, name, age, everything was the same. And Rachel was on a hiding to nothing there. She could have picked the best whiskies in the world. It could have been phenomenal. I think it's phenomenal. It's just not the old one. And that Halcyon Day is a reminiscence of, it's not like that one, and that one is better. It's like, well, treat it as a whiskey in its own right. And move on. If you don't like it, buy Tamdu, buy Glenfarclas, buy Milton Duff. You know, other guys do great whiskies, great sherry casks. So.
Yeah, no, that's a good point actually. But I mean, people don't like change. It's the Iway's factor, isn't it? But I've always drunk Glen. That's the Iway's being like that. So you'll always get that, I think. But yeah, I mean, there's so much other choice out there. You're right. You know, if you feel like, you know, the whiskey's changed or the brand's changed too much, then yeah, it's like your perfect opportunity to go and find your new favourite. So, and have fun with that because there's so much good whiskey out there.
I mean, Macallan have done not a bad job of, you know, revitalizing, you know, losing the 10. They had that stage of the 1824 series of gold and amber, and now they've got age statements again and beyond, and you know, they're doing all right for themselves.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't like it, but
I think the one thing that they might have made a mistake with, the amount of people that bought Glendronach just because the box was Afa Bonnie and it would just make a nice present. Like, so many people would come into the shop, like, and you'd say, oh, I'm needing it for a gift, so I want it to look Bonnie. But it matters to people, I suppose. It's a nice box.
It does. It does. I mean, there's so many different types of whiskey drinkers, and I think that's I don't know if you noticed with Davis. So the guys at home, Davis works for us at shop. He also has his own kind of up and coming. He's not quite blogging it. He's doing a few blogs, but he's writing. He's being published for Whiskey Magazine, and he's working with Mark Blether. So he's got some stuff going on, and he posted a comment on his LinkedIn page of a picture of the Wetherspoons whiskey map, and it was the 4 regions: the Islay, Speyside, Highland, and Lowland. I think were the 4. And it was quite, you know, initially when I read it, you know, it was very generic. Speyside, fruity and sweet; Lowland, grassy and mild; Islay, robust and peaty; and Highland was salty and I can't remember exactly how they used it. But it was all very generic. But they put a Campbelltown in the Lowland, and they kind of mixed up the flavour, not mixed up the flavour, but they're very blasé about it. It was clearly for market. It's trying to do something, and I don't think they got it right. And you can see a lot of people were commenting on the post. We're obviously in the industry saying this is crap, this is terrible, disrespectful, and all that. And it was kind of on the same ilk when I first read it, and I thought, and it wasn't until I kind of looked into some of the comments, and those people were like, "What's the problem?" And it was me, and it was that kind of comments. I thought, well, you know what? Wetherspoons aren't magnets for whiskey aficionados. They're not magnets for your Bon Accord, your Grill, your SNWS bars. These people, they might go to Wetherspoons and have a couple of cheap steaks, a couple of pints. They're not looking for, they'll have a dram maybe, but they're not looking for that. And that must be about 99% of Wetherspoons customers. They don't care where the whiskey comes in. They're looking for something that tastes nice. So it tends to be only the industry who gets riled about this. We have a right to drink cask strength whiskey, for everyone to know there's 5 regions, for everyone to know the characteristics of this. And it's like, yeah, but not everyone's like that. Not everyone knows when they walk into a bar, I need to know what Speyside is. I need to know what a Highland is. No, you don't. You need to know what's right for you. You need to know what's going to taste good. Yeah, and they're going to be introduced to Speyside probably through Glenfiddich, Glenlivet, Balvenie. Everyone starts saying if you like it. I know people who, the first rounds of Balvenie and they swear by it and they only ever drink Balvenie. So what? Yeah, they can complain that they don't open their horizons. Oh, you got to try this one. You got to try this cask strength Mortlach in a full sherry cask. You'll love it. They'll try it, too strong, puts them off. They're not interested. You're in danger of pushing them away from whiskey by forcing your belief of whiskey onto them and saying, oh, you need to try something better than that. Just let them have a dram of Balvenie. God, move on.
No, that's a really good point, actually. I think a lot of people who've got knowledge about whiskey feel like they've got to impart that onto everybody, which is really interesting if you're interested. But if you just like a Balvenie or a Glenfiddich in the evening, you don't really care that, Clynelish used to be known as Clynelish B until 1967 or whatever it was. But yeah, it's I think there's so many different types of whiskey drinkers out there. It's just finding the balance.
Yeah. And I guess we've got to nurture that because we've spoken recently quite a lot about you being possibly the only face that somebody sees in the whiskey industry as a tour guide. Most of our customers coming into the shop are not buying from themselves; they're buying the present. They're not even buying themselves, and we're like, or you could get into that rabbit hole of saying, well, he will like this or she will like that. You need to buy this. It's like Highland Park. Here's a single cask. Will be, bottling from Berry Brothers. It's secret argument, but it is Highland Park. But I'll just go for Highland Park. If it's the drinker themselves, then I could see the pursuit of saying, well, why don't you try a different style of Highland Park? But if somebody's sitting there and you're rabbiting off all these different independent bottlers, you know what? I'm just going to go to Tesco. You're just making me feel stupid. You run the risk of making them feel stupid and inferior, and they don't want that.
That's it. That's the kind of skill of a good, shop assistant or a good bar member staff or a good guide is the fact that you kind of read your audience. You have the ones that want the extra information. They want, the geek sit factor. And then you just want the ones that are a bit overwhelmed. They know that their dad likes that bottle of whiskey. They want to buy that one. So I guess it is all different strokes for different folks, which is not always easy, but it's always fun as well.
Absolutely.
It's nice.
Callum, yes, we know there's not 5 regions. There's 3 regions, 2 localities. We touched that in the last Blether.
I think we need to do a whole episode on that because it really seems to start off the conversation. For the people, a lot of people say, so some people are like, oh, there's no point in regions. And other people are like, it's not even 5 regions. It's like, but it would be interesting to get somebody on. I don't know who you'd ask though. Like, would it be like somebody from like the Scotch Whisky Association or something, or like to talk about regions? I don't know who would get on to do a regions chat.
We'll just talk about it ourselves and make it.
We do cover it. We do cover it most weeks.
Russell's come up with a couple of good points. So we just want people drinking whiskey. But and again, go back to the fact it's not even, we want people drinking whiskey, but more so we want people buying whiskey. In that, I mean, they're coming in, they're buying for somebody else maybe. But you want them to buy. You want them to go away not feeling stupid and not walk out thinking they've been overwhelmed.
Yeah.
As an advisor, you move from full board geek chat to very simple. I think I'd probably go the opposite way. I go from very simple to actually this person knows what they're talking about. Let's go geek. No, this isn't smoking. Oh, he doesn't like peated stuff. Russell, be able to ask you because I know we had this chat Inverurie a few times. Kat, you're in the same boat. Somebody walks into the shop. Oh, so what kind of whiskey do they like? Oh, single malt. Yeah, and for us, it doesn't help really, but they don't know that. They don't know that doesn't help us. They think we're being helped, because everyone drinks blends. You go to a bar and it's all grouse and whatever. They think they're being, it has to be a single malt. Right. You've narrowed us down to 90% of our stock. That's cool. That's a start. And from there, that that is Russell. As you said, that's when your geek thinks, right, okay, we can go simple now. We know the level of the customer, then let's chat to them. Do you recognise any names? Does Macallan ring a bell? Have you seen a Glenfiddich in the shelf? Oh yeah, those names ring, and you take it from there. It's all about engaging. It's all about bringing them in and saying, you know what you're talking about. I'm going to help you, rather than you damn sod, can help. We're going to help you with all you know is space out and single malt. Fuck off. That's not what we're about as an industry.
I know. And that's it. And people are comfortable with names that they know. It's like, if it's like, I don't know, it doesn't need to be whiskey, but like if you're shopping for something, if you've heard of a brand, like if you're shopping for insurance, for example, if you've heard of the brand, the company name, you feel safer with them. And some distilleries are just not promoted very well, or maybe they're part of a group of distilleries and the big brands get talked about more and the lesser known ones. So if you suggest a distillery they've never heard of, they're probably not going to want to experiment with it because they're like, well, okay, it's maybe not very good. I've never heard of that one. I've never seen it in Tesco, and that's fair enough. You don't want to feel like you're kind of diddling them. If they just want to stick to the big brands, then that's fine.
Yeah,
but maybe they can experiment with some of the other releases the big brands have done, like some of the other cask releases, or play around with some of those. But yeah, you got to pick your audience. What was Russell's comment about cheese?
Well, remember the old Gordon MacPhail had the wee deli as well, so they had the cheese and ham and kind of all sorts of stuff. So I'm guessing that's what you mean, is that people are walking in and saying, oh, last time I was here like 4 years ago, I got some great cheese.
That's like the guy that walked into the whiskey shop. Where's the beef? It's my favourite question ever. Where's the beef? I don't know. I don't know where the beef is.
Yeah, you're right. It's that nurturing that first, but the next time they come back in, if we got it right the first time, they come back in the next time saying, well, he really liked that suggestion, or she really liked what you gave us last time. What would you offer? And they have a little bit more trust in it. So say they came in, or they like Glendronach, and we said, well, there's a 15-year-old Glendronach or 12, and they really enjoy that come back. What would you offer? I want to get them something different. Then you can naturally switch over to, you can tell the Billy Walker story, and people, here's the Glenallachie, really nice kind of progression for you. Or you've got a story to tell. Then it's not maybe about the whiskey, it's maybe about the story or the branding and that. And you can see, well, it's a safe bet, but guaranteed they'll like that. And then you build that trust as a shopper, as a retailer, as somebody selling it, and that's what all people then put their faith in your hands. The first time they're a bit safe, they're like, I'm not sure. Let's just stick to Highland Park or Glendor, whatever it is. And then you say, well, here's a wee bit of a swerve, but not too much. You don't go and sell them a Lagavulin when they're looking for a Glenallachie.
The fun of the challenge. This is lovely, by the way. That's really, really nice. I'm such a slow boat, but I'm enjoying that one. It's quite fruit. It's fruity, but it's got like a nice pepper and kind of grapefruity kind of yumminess to it. It's lovely.
Rick has asked if we can get Gordon Forsyth from Ardmore on as a guest.
So I have suggested that to Gordon, but he's not keen on talking in front of the camera. So it would be lovely.
Would people at home understand him?
Well, we had Alan on, and folk understood.
Well, we did, yeah. Alan was used to speaking to people, though. I think Gordon's less public speaking than probably.
Yeah, no, I'd imagine so. He might be watching
tonight. I would love
to
get Gordon on. He'd be such a good guest. I think the stories that he could tell would be phenomenal.
I know, and because he's an advisor now as well. So he's working with Lochlee, he's working with Keith, he's working with I can't remember who else he's working with, but yeah, such a font of knowledge. But it's scary talking live in front of people, so it's not for everyone. So maybe one day we get him on, but I'm not too sure. Not too sure if we could persuade him.
or somebody from a cooperage, Vic's suggestion. We had Brent
Oh, we did.
from Oakwood Cooperage not too long ago.
If you missed
We could
that
try
one, definitely watch back because he's done so well. He started out from just himself, and now he's what did he say? He was the biggest employer of he's the biggest. I can't remember the facts were, but he's done very, very well. So definitely watch back on that one. That was a really interesting chat. But we can maybe get some more Coopers on. I don't know. I don't know any other Coopers. We can search for them.
Coopers.
Search for Coopers.
Let's for Coopers. Go on. Who else? Just to read through some comments. Rick didn't get the other axe. Glad to hear. Just jumping halfway through our conversation. Major Nut, we have a friend who only wants the cheap whiskies and he drinks it with a lot of ice. Don't know what he tastes and why he drinks whiskey at all, but that's the way he wants. My whiskey journey started with a broken ice machine. And so we always went into O'Donoghue's bar, Irish bar in Aberdeen, and always drank Guinness and Jameson. And it was purely, as you described it, loads of ice. We drank it because it was Irish. And we loved the music. And then one night we went in and there was no ice. So we're like, oh God. So it was a broken ice machine. We were like, well, just going to have to drink it without ice. And started drinking it. And I thought, oh, wow, this is actually all right. All this whiskey I've been drinking with ice and not really tasting, just drinking. So, from there, it was Dalwhinnie was the first Scotch that actually got me drinking Scotch. But I wouldn't have even considered it if the ice machine hadn't broken. I would have just still been drinking Morgans and Coke or some other really sweet rum and Coke. And wasn't until the ice machine broke I was like, well, so sometimes, we all fall in love with weird and wonderful reasons. So next time you have a friend, that friend out for a drink, just tell them there's no ice.
There's no ice.
Drink it. This is the way it is, and see what he wants.
Fate intervened on your behalf. There you go. It could have been a very different story.
I know. I could have been a telegraph pole erector.
Don't ever say erector. How do they get them up? Like telegraph poles.
Do not follow up telling me off by using the word erector with how do they get them up?
That's a fair point. Oh, David, now you've just lowered the tone there. Well, yes, October. Yeah, that's the month. Well, there, if anybody knows the answer, David is back.
What's in your glass, David? Is it still the good old H2O?
Considering we didn't have a guest, we've managed to talk quite a lot of whiskey and quite a lot of shite for 2 hours.
Yeah, that's what we do. I think we do it rather well.
I think so as well. It's a technique that works.
I mean, albeit half an hour of it was just watching you try to get into your bottle.
I'm going to have to go back through old Blethers and see how many times I've failed to get.
There should be a training course. We should run a training course and open your bottle live first time.
I usually try and open it before the chat, but I wasn't very organized this afternoon because I wasn't sure what I was going to have. But yeah, lesson learned. I don't know why they're making them so difficult to get into. It's ridiculous. There's some feedback for you going forwards, Mike. If you for your foghouse, make it easy access. That's what we need.
So we have one of those terrible. Well, this is our capsule here. and all it has is a little serrated bit there. So you just pull that up. If I was to put that, it probably won't work quite as well because there's not heat extract, but there's just a serrated bit there that you lift off that, and that's it.
This is exactly the same, but it was trapped underneath the cork, so technically not my fault. That'd be feedback. It was a design. I probably just picked up the only bottle that had the bit of plastic stuck in the wrong place. You picked up the bottle, actually. It was you.
It was me. It was me.
He set me up to fail because I couldn't bloody find it in the shop. I must have walked past it twice. Yeah, no, it's a lovely bottle, lovely dram. Dexterity isn't for everyone. It's overrated as well. It's because I've got tiny little wee hands.
Somebody did ask earlier on if somebody's filling in for Roy on the Aquavite slot, but I didn't see if there was an answer to that. If anyone knows, pop it in for the YouTubers if you want to join on the Aquavite slot. Because I'm going to ask Kat now who's next week's guest.
Yes, so next week we have the Whiskey Witches. So they are Jen and I'm sorry, girls, I've forgotten the other one's name. Christina, yes. So they were going to be with us a couple of weeks ago, but just with diaries and things, they couldn't make it. So they felt really bad about it. So they're going to literally do it live from like the night before their Fringe show. And I've seen them advertising it on their socials. It looks like an amazing Fringe show. So yeah, we're going to be speaking to them, which I'm super excited about. I'm going to try and not be the biggest geek ever, but I can't make any promises. So we are going to be speaking to them. And then that's it for the summer. That will be our last. Everyone's away on holiday just now. So we are struggling getting people to join the Blether, which is fair enough because we're all entitled to a holiday. So we thought, well, we should probably have a wee holiday as well. And we'll get the diary all nice and filled up. And we'll be back later. I haven't got a date.
We'll give you plenty of notes. When we do come back, in case I forget next week, we are going to be coming back at a slightly later time. It's going to be 7:30. And there's purely just logistical reasons, really. Obviously, I've got Killian now, and he goes to bed at 7. And I know a lot of the guys at home have bedtimes at 6. Have children who have bedtimes at 7. So we just want to give you a little bit more time to get home and get tea and stuff. And Kat obviously working at Glengarry a bit more. There's that travel home, and so we do want to. It's hopefully going to make it easier for you guys to join in. And then hopefully we don't encroach on any other channels. Where we're going to do our best to keep it within that kind of time slot. But it will be 7:30 starts. Not next week. Next week is still 7. But when we come back. And yeah, let us know. There's been already some great suggestions in the chat. You can comment on any of our YouTube channels. Give us a ping on a private message through Facebook if you have ideas. If you want to be a guest yourself, send us a message and we will do a bit of digging and see if we think that will be fun or not. I'm sure it'll be fun. We're proper. I'm not sure the proper word. But yeah, we would love to hear who you would like to see in the Blether. We've had so many guests, and I can't think of one that I would say, no, I wouldn't ask them back. So we might go back and ask a few guys to come back on again.
Yeah, definitely. And then obviously, with the chats that Mike and Russell had, we could even though they've been on before, I wasn't part of it, so we could get them back on. So if you have any favourite ones that you remember the guys doing, give me a shout and I'll see if I can get them on as well. So yeah, fire us messages. And so I've spoken to Rachel Russell a few times, and she is going to come back on, but she's a very busy lady. So we're just trying to find a date that works for everyone. But she is in my little black book, so we will get her back on sometime soon, hopefully, when she's a little bit less busy. But I'd imagine with the rebrand or the new box, She'll be off jetting around the world promoting that. It's not a rebrand, it's just a new box. But yeah, honestly, I'd love to get her on because everything she says is so poetic and so lovely.
So much fun.
It'd be. I'll try not to be the biggest like geek when we get her on, but I can't make any promises. But yeah, any suggestions like that, fire them over if you know people in the whiskey world or the coopering world or the bottle world.
I'm going to do something here, Kat. I'm going to ask the guys who are watching, or maybe watching retrospectively, if you've got any fun whiskey facts, send them our way. Anything that's bizarre that you've stumbled across, that you thought, that's weird, I didn't know that. Just direct message us, whether it's through Instagram or Facebook or email, if you've got our emails. Just ping them our way, because we might have something quite fun under the Blether umbrella.
Yes.
The Blether. I'm sure there's almost an umbrella.
Umbrella. Oh no, I've lost it now.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, on that note, it's been good fun tonight. I've had a rare time. Hopefully you guys have too.
Yes. Thank you very much for sticking with us, even though we didn't have an actual guest. But I love seeing all the chat. I love seeing you guys all chatting to each other as well, which is it's a great wee community we've got on the go. So it's nice seeing you guys all hanging out and chatting away. It's cool. That's a good shout too, Rick. Rick, just write me a list and just send them all over, and I'll work my way through them. Because you've got some good shouts. So if you know how to get hold of these people, also, and maybe I just need to do LinkedIn. I don't know. I only do Instagrams.
We did have Portnathroon distillery manager on. It might have been Russell and I.
Oh, who's Portnathroon?
Georgie,
yeah. It was you and Russell, because I remember watching it. Oh, no, was I? No, I think it was you and Russell, and I was just watching. That's what it was.
I mean, a lot of these, the guests we've had, times have changed. They've maybe moved on to a different role. Portnathroon is, probably 2-3 years further on now than it was last time. So, yeah, it was.
That's right. Yes, that's exactly right. We were talking about the deer swing over to rut with Russell or something. I can't remember exactly what it was.
And Russell's never been the same since.
That's exactly what it was, because it was one of my favorite Blethers we'd watched, and it just got really fun and silly. And that's exactly when Russell was born. Yeah.
It was October as well. It was the deer that was rutting with Russell that night.
That should be its own channel, Rutting with Russell. That could be your fans only.
Rut with the Hawk.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, we should get her back on as well. All suggestions are busy rutting. I hope you're not busy rutting now. That's multitasking, but too much information also.
Anyway. It is Rachel's birthday.
Well, on that note.
Absolute pleasure once again. Cheers, guys. Russell, thanks for joining us. And that goes out to absolutely everyone who has, whether you're watching live or if you're watching retrospectively. Rick, yes, we'll get somebody to talk about yeast. And now I'm going to say good night. Or sea monkeys, as Kat likes to call them.
Night, everyone.
Slange.